You got a 30-year-old wide receiver who's your best player. So your window is your window. You let Tua go, then what are you doing? But Tua's not good enough. So you're caught.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today on this Top Shelf Tuesday edition, my favorite team leader, Mike King. Mike, how are you today?
Forward to talking some NFL.
All right, for today's episode, we're going to talk about in segment one quarterback play. Time to pay up for some of these guys, and I can't wait to get Mike's thoughts on it. It's segment two. So you won 18 games. But what are you going to do for me? Let's find out what they do. And in segment three, got to talk about some things strictly for entertainment purposes only as I get ready for the football season. But first, Mike, the Lions paid up. The Lions agreed to a 4-year contract extension worth up to $212 million, $170 million guaranteed with Jared Goff. I can't insult Jared Goff. He's played well. He's 29. He led the Lions to the NFC Championship game. But it's Jared Goff. Mike, tell me what you think.
The Lions are kind of caught. They had no choice. It's either you let this guy go and you're in the middle of finally turning this around and making the playoffs and winning playoff games, which you haven't done in decades. But
Decades.
but you know that Jared Goff isn't $212 million good. But this is the problem with the NFL quarterback situation. You get guys that are mid or slightly above mid, and you're kind of locked in. I mean, it happened to the Giants, and he's not even as good as Goff. So, I mean, it's you either need to have a great guy or be terrible enough to try and find the next great guy. But Jared Goff, they're in that middle range. They
And we're
can't.
not mad at Jared. Get all the
No,
money you can, get the bag. Well, Mike, what you said takes me to Tua. Do you pay Tua? The Dolphins will begin drills this week, and Tua's not there as of our taping. He's been absent for the majority of the offseason. He just completed his fourth year of a $30 million rookie contract. The Dolphins picked up his fifth-year option, and they could go down to franchising him, Rod. But, Mike, do you pay Tua?
I mean, I feel like you give Tua a slightly larger Daniel Jones contract that gives you an out. Like Daniel Jones is 4 160, but the Giants can get out after this year. Tua can 4 200 with an out after two or something like that because you got a 30-year-old wide receiver who's your best player. So your window is your window. You let Tua go, then what are you doing? But Tua's not good enough. So you're caught. NFL
And the
has
marketplace, I think, is kind of set, so you know what you're gonna have to pay because a cat like Trevor Lawrence is due too. Are you paying him?
I mean, that you're gonna all these teams are gonna get screwed. They're just all gonna get screwed.
All right. So, Mike, to close out this segment, which rookie will play meaningful snaps at some point this season? I'm gonna give you a list of rookies. Let me know if you think they're gonna play meaningful snaps this season. Caleb Williams,
Yes,
Jaden Daniels,
as meaningful as you could be playing for the Commanders.
Drake May for the Patriots.
I mean, he's gonna play, but Patriots are terrible, and he's gonna be terrible. So,
Meaningful snaps this season.
sure.
J.J. McCarthy from Minnesota. Is
I
he going
hope
to play
so.
meaningful?
I hope he plays it week one so the Giants have a chance at a 1-0 start.
What about Bo Nix for Denver? Is he going to play meaningful snaps?
No.
Michael Penix Jr., will he get meaningful snaps this season?
I just hope so, just for the drama, but I don't think so.
Spencer Rattler for the New Orleans Saints, will he get meaningful snaps this season?
No.
Jordan Travis for the Jets. I don't even know who Jordan Travis is.
Me either, but he probably will because Aaron Rodgers isn't making it through a season.
And the last one, and the guy I'm going to watch a lot this preseason, Joe Milton III for New England. Is this a situation like the Commanders had with RG3 and Kirk Cousins?
I mean, if it is, it's gonna not probably gonna be this year. It'll probably be next year when they realize Drake May's.
All right, so fans, when we get back in segment two, Roger Goodell has clearly said he wants 18 games. So let's see what the players should do to get 18 games with my union guy. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches podcast.
The reviews are in for Dr. Keith Adams' book, Finding the Balance, My Personal Journey to Academic and Athletic Success. College professor and student-athlete academic expert Dr. Lisa Rubin said, "There is nothing out there like this book, so I do hope people will pay attention and give it a read." Former George Mason standout Fowler and Campbell said, "Consider this book an opportunity to work directly with Dr. Adams just like I did. I assure you that there will be something you can take away that will be useful to you throughout your personal journey." Ryan Waite, a recent college graduate who is a software engineer, said, "I like how the book is based on research, which makes it good for general students as well as student athletes." The book serves as both a memoir to Dr. Adams' 30-year academic and athletic career, as well as an instructional guide to assist student athletes, parents, coaches, teachers, and administrators navigate through the challenges of finding a better balance between academic and athletic success. The book includes over 15 personal stories and anecdotes from Dr. Adams, along with numerous former players and colleagues from a variety of sports and endeavors. You can order your copy at www.ckasaveproject.org. From the main page, simply click CKA Save Project Services and order the Find the Balance book. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches podcast in segment two. So you won 18 games. Playing 18 regular season games has long been the goal of the NFL owners. And the contract, the current CBA, gave the NFL the discretion to increase the number of regular season games from 16 to 17. That occurred in 2021. And there is a provision preventing the addition of the 18th game until the current CBA expires, which is at the end of the 2030 league year. The only way the NFL can get extra regular season games before then is through an agreement with the players union. And there has been talk about doing that. The NFLPA has received a lot of criticism for just not being very good and agreeing to pretty bad deals. So, Mike, I'm going to give you some suggestions from CBS Sports. Want you to react to each suggestion. First suggestion from CBS Sports to get 18 games is improve revenue split to at least 50%. Do you think the players can get that? What do you think?
Well, they can't. The league needs the players if they want to do this before 2030. So players have the cards if they're smart. So yeah, that would be a start. Bigger piece of the pie.
All right, because the NBA gets between 49 and 51%, and I believe the NFL gets like 47%, something like that. So, all right, second thing, lifetime health care. You want 18 games? Give me lifetime health care. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, the players, the main reason for arguing against extra games is injuries and all the health risks. So I feel like, yeah, that should be a starting point as well. How is that not a thing with all the bad publicity the NFL has gotten over the years for not treating the players well after they're done being NFL players?
Do they ask for grass fields too, or is that too much?
I think that's too much. But like the Giants changed the grass a little bit, and it's still bad, you know. So
All
I
right.
don't think there's a right answer.
So there's an additional game check. There's a big sticking point with players about the 17th game was the payment for the extra game. A renegotiated player salary should increase that. So they're pretty much not getting an extra game check. So make sure they get 18 game checks. Is that good?
I mean, yeah, you gotta take my time. You better compensate me for it.
That's a yeah, inside joke there. That's funny. And finally, Mike, NFL is not known for guaranteed contracts. What do you think? Can we guarantee contracts now, or will the owners balk at that?
I mean, the owners are going to do everything they can not to do that, but like that's what they do in all the sports, right? Like, it's so weird to me that the NFL, it's like funny money. Um, you give a contract, that's the contract. Like, it shouldn't just be this guaranteed money. It should be you want to take the risk of maybe then quarterbacks wouldn't be getting $212 million if that money was what they were going to get. Maybe then you go, Jared Goff. Well, why don't we take away a zero? So I think that should happen, but I don't.
All right. So one of the things that I would ask for is the double bye. I think they should have 2 bye weeks anyway, but with 18 games, you can manipulate the schedule, maneuver the schedule so that each team can get 2 different bye weeks throughout the season. I think that'll be a big help. So with that, good luck to the players. We wish you well, but you tend not to get what the other leagues get because the younger players want their money and the older players want all the extra things. Mike, any last comments about that in terms of negotiation?
Players deserve more. That's really players are the ones, especially the NFL, like literally putting their lives on the line, and the owners are sitting in a box making all the money.
All the
So
money.
it I'm always on the side of the player.
All right. So, fans, when we get back in segment 3, we're going to talk about some things strictly for entertainment purposes only as we get ready for the full off season of the Coaches podcast. We'll be right back after this break.
Why should student athletes use the CKA SAVE Project academic and athletic consulting services? Over the past 15 to 20 years, colleges, universities, professional sports teams, business organizations, and others have increased their use of consulting services to improve their decision-making processes and results. Over the same time, the athletic and academic landscape has changed for high school and college student athletes as the NCAA has raised initial academic eligibility requirements for student athletes while decreasing the number of transfer restrictions. Former college student athletes have noted that they were academic and athletically unprepared for the rigors of college. Let the CKA SAVE Project's close to 30 years of academic and athletic experience help guide student athletes to increase success as we work to help student athletes achieve the goal of obtaining a college degree. For more information, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Coaches podcast. In segment 3, we are preparing for things strictly for entertainment purposes only. So, fans, I am a 30-year public educator, and the lottery in a lot of states helps pay for education. In fiscal year 2020, lottery agencies in 5 states transferred at least 85% of their proceeds to education. Arkansas, Kentucky, New Mexico, South Carolina, and Tennessee. Each of these states use lottery proceeds to subsidize financial aid programs, etc. In California, for every $2 Powerball ticket, Mike, 80 cents goes to fund public schools. In Texas, almost a quarter of the money from Powerball and lottery goes to education. And in sports betting, states has designated funds for education opportunities. Louisiana passed a bill in 2021. Missouri uses a portion of riverboat gambling to fund early childhood education. Our fine state of Maryland, where we're based, collects gambling fees, and it goes to the Maryland Education Trust Fund. And these funds are used to support pre-K programs all the way through 12th grade. So this is Dr. Adams on sports betting. Before we get to the NFL, I've studied sports betting since the inception of the Odd Coaches podcast, and Mike and I work together, and he knows of my love affair for Vegas and have a little something on the side. In addition, during COVID, I studied a lot about the sports betting, and last year was the first year from the start of the season to the end of the season in both college and pro football that I followed it. And my goal is 55%. wins every week with a break-even point of about 53%. So last year I did 40% overall. I lost about $65 total, just a little more than that. But Mike, for the spread, I won 57% of the time. Over under, I was terrible. I was 29% for over under. My two play, I was 43%. Three play money line, I was 57%. And upsets, 14%. So this year, I'm upgrading. Fans, I'm going to have 7 games for college every week, 7 games for pro football. I'm upping my bet slightly from 10 to 15. Stop laughing, Mike, because it's not real. And my wife doesn't care. So I'm going to have a showcase game of the week based off the spread, a two-play game of the week based off the spread, three-play game of the week based off the spread, four-play money line, because I tend to pick winners, and then an over game of the week, an under game of the week, and an upset game of the week. And I'm thinking, hey, when I win, because I got to be confident, portion of the proceeds go to support our programs at the CK Save Project. Mike, I know you're a dabbler in sports betting. Any thoughts about how you bet on the occasion that you may put something out there, but probably not as much as me?
Well, first, the states are all lying. They're not giving that. The money that they're giving to the schools or to education is just the money they were going to give to the schools go to what they wanted to, and they just take the casino. It's all a shell game. But for NFL, I kind of just like looking at the lines, seeing something that just jumps out at me. I usually just pick some two to three money line parlay. I like doing those, but I don't like too much of the year longs just because every year there's just so much random and injuries affect it. But yeah, I kind of like the 2 to 3 money line parlays. Take some favorites.
Yeah, so with that, ESPN put out some bold predictions. So, Mike, I just wanted to see if you agree or disagree because I'm putting a lot of time into studying. So, one, the Jets will be in first place going into their bye in week 10, in week 12. Agree or disagree?
I mean, the Bills are worse. Uh, I'm going to disagree because I'm just going to say I've seen this before. I'm sorry, Lucy. I'm not kicking the football. It's not going to happen. No.
Okay.
You're wrong.
Sa-
No.
Saquon Barkley will lead the Eagles to the playoffs by running all over the Giants in week 18. Agree or disagree?
So I'm going to disagree because they're not going to need week 18 to make the playoffs, and the Giants will win that one because they'll be resting people. Because if you look at the Eagles' schedule, they start off to like 6 or 7 easy games. So they're gonna start off hot. Then when they get a little bit of adversity, they're already gonna have belief. So I don't think they're gonna need week 18.
All right. Team that is sucking me in every week. The Falcons could win the NFC. Agree or disagree?
I mean, could sure. I mean, anyone could do anything, but no. I was on the Falcons bandwagon before the last season. Does Kirk Cousins make that much of a difference? Because he's old. We haven't worked together for a long time, and he was already stealing money in like year 5 when we were working together. So like, I mean, a team that's relying on the old guy. And when was the last time Kirk Cousins won a meaningful game? 3 years, and he's 3 years older. So yeah, I'm going to go with a big no on that one.
Okay. Healthy Joe Burrow and the Bengals will return to the top of the AFC North.
I mean, this is 50-50 because the Browns maybe, the Steelers probably not. The Ravens are. I'll go yeah. Lamar didn't get hurt last year. He can miss a couple games this year. Joe Burrow can sneak in and get the top seed.
All right. And finally, Caleb Williams will go 4-0 against his fellow rookie quarterback.
Which rookies is he going against? I'm going to go no just because the Bears are still not good. So I don't care who you're playing. These aren't going to be like 90% wins. They're going to be like, maybe if they're favored, 60-40 thing. So yeah, I don't think 4-0.
All right. So fans, as we close, the schedules are out. Look for the Odd Coaches podcast to do the second year of its now annual breakdown of each individual division. We'll be doing that over the summer. So on behalf of our favorite team leader, Mike King, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. We'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.